Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is Chiliad Off-Road at the races, and we're currently in the Vapid Aleutian. This is part 1 of 2 of the season finale for the Chop Shop season of Chiliad Off-Road. Every time there's DLC, we take most of the cars, if not all of them, from the DLC up and back down the mountain, test them, see how long it takes to get up, and then everything's ranked by that. Both within the DLC, but also then within their class, but also overall. And the Aleutian was one of our 2 slowest. We take the 2 fastest and the 2 slowest from each season and actually take and race them. So it's not quite the same as the normal Chiliad Off-Road, because now we're actually all competing against one another. Don't get used to me being in first place. It's not going to last. In fact, I'm doing this week's video first so that the season ends on a strong point for me personally. Even though, actually, I think it was the final race that is going to be our final race next week as well. But today we have the Vapid Aleutian and the Gallivanter Baller STD. The Baller was the second fastest at 234 flat. The Aleutian wasn't really the second slowest. The slowest was the tow truck, but we can't race that, so we had to go up from there. And then both the drift cars did pretty terribly. So I believe it's, yeah, next week we'll see just a drift race. Normally we all race in the exact same vehicle, but next week we will, people just chose whatever drift car they wanted. And then above the 2 drift cars was the Aleutian, coming in 3 minutes 22.26 seconds. Well, 26 frames at a 60, so almost half a second. But yeah, I know it looks like I'm doing really well in first so far, but you can see people are struggling back behind me, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to encounter my own issues. Of course, since it is a race and all the different props are available to me, I have to choose all of the different props. It makes it a lot of fun. This race actually took place on like April, gosh, I don't even remember. It was like April 19th, maybe? Yeah, I think that's right. No, April, I'm looking at May. April 17th. I'm recording the voiceover for this on May 3rd. But it won't go live. We may have another DLC by the time this goes live. But we're up to the top for our first ascent. I did it in a 3:22. Of course, we had a few seconds added on. So I actually got up a little quicker. I know it said 3:30 something, but that's because if you go back to the beginning of the video, you saw we started on like 30 or something. The rules of Chiliad Off-Road is everybody has to be, or Chiliad Off-Road at the races, I should say, everybody has to be in the same vehicle. If they don't own it, then they have to select the stock version of it so that if they have to respawn, they're still in the right vehicle. But since this is a GTA race, we can get out at the beginning of the race and somebody can get in our car, and then we can respawn their car and we can all be in an upgraded one. And we do that. It usually takes like 30 seconds or so. So I actually managed to get up a little bit quicker in the race than I did just testing Chiliad Off-Road. It's amazing how much when there's competition behind you, you definitely push harder. Raven is having a rough time up there in the top right-hand corner. Up at the top left is Commander Hobo, so you'll enjoy both of their views throughout all 4 races. And this is where it starts to go south for me. That respawn put me back into second, and now into third as Hobo goes right past me, and then I go right past Hobo, and then he goes right past me. And we're going side by side into a very dangerous corner, and I had backed out. The rules of racing do still apply for the most part. I realized I tapped Hobo there. I didn't realize it during the race. I should have waited. But basically, the rules state, general rules of racing, so no intentional takeouts. If you do take somebody out, whether intentionally or by accident, you have to wait. And especially if you knock them off the mountain, you have to wait. That was a great crash. Hobo honking at me to get out of the way and then lands on his roof. That was kind of beautiful. And poor Raven, he had to respawn. So now he's back in a stock one, so he doesn't even have the upgrades. Hobo honking at me again, and I think I bounced off of him. So he and I are just constantly trading second and third. So we've actually got a good race going here. Sven managed to take a very comfortable first at this point. So you can see him down there in the mini-map at the bottom left. You can see him just ahead. And then my Aleutian just decided, hey, I'm going to roll now and let Hobo have a very comfortable gap between second and third. Wait, did Raven just respawn again? I wasn't looking up there, but I looked up and I saw that he was flashing, so I'm guessing so. The great thing about this with the race is, one, I turned traffic on for the first time ever, so when we get down at the bottom to turn around, traffic can be there. But two, yeah, we wind up sometimes coming back at each other on a very narrow bit of track. It's not even really a track, but you can see there's not a lot of room to pass. And then, of course, here is the traffic. There's one of these races where I missed that checkpoint. I don't remember which one it is. But it winds up costing me a ton of time because I don't realize for a very long time that I even missed the checkpoint. I think it's in the next race. But I was angry when it happened. But every time we do a little off-road at the races, I change the track up just a little bit, just different props and different things. This season, or actually last season, I completely deleted everything except the checkpoints and started all over. There's J-Bo's in a very fine looking Aleutian, probably because it's mine. Only Hobo and I even owned it. So everybody was, well, Raven's not anymore. Most everybody's in either mine or Hobo's. Yeah, poor Raven. He's still coming down on his descent. Sven is way up. Hobo's, speaking of Raven, he's went right over me. Hobo's not too terribly far ahead of me. I wasn't watching to see what happened, but somehow he got delayed because I was a lot farther behind, but now I can almost see him. I did see him briefly. So I am catching up. By the way, you can take part in these races. You can take part in Will It Off-Road, as well as all of our other community videos and live streams by joining the Vainglorious Discord server. We would absolutely love to have you. If you own the game that we're playing for one of our community events, and it's on the platform that we play on, then you can take part. And even if you don't own the game and you're not on our preferred platform, then you should still join the Vainglorious Discord server, because we're an awesome bunch of people, and if you're watching this video, you're awesome. So hey, let's get all the awesome people together. We have GTA chat channels, as well as a bunch of other games, and then some IRL channels as well. So come hang out with us on the Vainglorious Discord server. And yep, I'm still back here in third. I'm having a little bit of a struggle, and Hobo is opening up the gap. It looks like Sven is just about, yeah, he's making that last turn to go to the very top before he begins his descent. And of course, at the very top, you may have spotted it earlier, there is a big green checkpoint. That is a boost checkpoint, and it's set at 250%. So when you go through it, it launches you. Absolutely launches you. So you got to make sure you get it right, because it can launch you. As you'll see in the next race, it launches me. I kind of point a little too far to the right in the next race. But it's strong. It's a very strong boost. The interesting thing about our descent is this is our last checkpoint until you get all the way to the bottom. So if you blow up or get stuck or wind up on a bad path down, and have to respawn, you're all the way back at the top of the mountain again. So, ow, that was a dead stop. However, Hobo's now right there. I want to catch him very badly, but I don't remember if I do or not. Because it's been a couple weeks. And it'll be several more weeks before you get to see it, unless you saw the behind-the-scenes version of the video, which was all 4 races and included our Discord conversation, which is available to channel members. YouTube. Here on YouTube, become a channel member. You get access to behind-the-scenes stuff, as well as early access to 100% of my videos. Or you can be a Twitch subscriber, or you can make a pledge. Good job, Sven, finishing him first. Or you can make a pledge over on Patreon or on Discord. You can get a server subscription there. All 4 of those, you need to have your respective service linked to Discord and be part of the Vainglorious Discord server. And if all of those are in place, one, I appreciate the extra support. You just being here to watch is all I ask. Of course, please turn off ad block, because that's how I make my money, is ads. You know, not going to lie about that. But two, you know, if you do choose to support financially, I greatly appreciate that. And we have an HQ channel just for the supporters where I post links to the behind the scenes. Hobo takes second. Man, my Aleutian is battered, and I come in third. Raven is struggling quite a bit. J-Bose was in this race as well. However, he and Sven, I guess, don't have recording capabilities or just choose not to. Either way, that's fine. But yeah, poor Raven. You can kind of tell with where he is on the mountain, he is definitely going to be a DNF. He was not having a good time, and we were all having a good time laughing at him not having a good time because he was rather vocal in his displeasure in how things went. So yeah, I came in third, 10 minutes 31 seconds, and made some money. That part doesn't matter, but we'll let Sven do his victory dance here in just a second. And here, there we go. Oh, he's gonna flip a coin, and then we'll take a look at our times. And not bad, but that is gonna bring us to our next vehicle. And that was a way longer gap than I expected it to be, so I stopped talking, waiting for the transition. Anyways, we're in the Gallivanter Baller STD, and I'm going to just be up front. This one didn't go so well for me. This time, there were three of us that owned the Baller, so you'll see three different models. In fact, they're all three right there on the screen. Hobo and his light blue, and me and my reassuringly brown one. And Raven in his early 2000s dub edition. Even though this is based on a modern Land Rover, whatever. Just don't tell him. Just don't tell him. But right now, it's a pretty close race up here in first, second, and third. Definitely trading a lot of paint. A lot of paint. You can see we're bouncing each other all around. I do temporarily wind up in first, but this thing, you know, this was second. Like I said earlier, I think I mentioned it anyways, at 234 flat. So I managed to get this thing up the mountain without too much issues the first time. And if I remember right, and we'll see here as the video unfolds, but if I remember correctly, it's not the ascent where I struggle. I think it's coming back down that I really start having problems. So if I remember right, I have to respawn numerous times, and it winds up costing me. This may be the race also where I missed the checkpoint. I cut the corner too close and thought I had it and didn't pay attention that I didn't get the checkpoint. Just assumed that I did. And, okay, maybe I did have problems on the ascent, 'cause I kind of bounced off that rock there, and that bumped me down into third place with Hobo just around the corner behind me. It looks like, yeah, Sven up there in first. Raven currently in second, doing really well. Hobo having issues roughly in the same spot I did. You got to be careful. And I am, when I do World Offroad, I know where all these places are that can, you know, throw a vehicle for a loop. And so I let off the gas, do proper braking, and try to get the best time possible without falling off the freaking mountain. However, in a race, I tend to forget all of that stuff because I just get tunnel vision on must get first, and kind of forget a lot of the stuff that I've learned. And wow, tactical reverse back onto the track there from Raven. Well done. Oh, Hobo's not as close as I thought he was, but I am right on Raven's tail. But it's not gonna last. So I've already had one little calamity, and then a couple of these smaller ones where I bonk into things. And one of those things was a British Brandon. However, inside overtake, gotta love it, and then close the window on him for being able to overtake the kid. Nice little move. But yeah, this was not so great. I got stuck on the sign. Thought I could go to the right. I couldn't. So yeah, that just cost me a lot of time and caused me to give up second place, sadly. So now I've got to try to take some risks to overtake, and because there's not really a lot of room to overtake here on the mountain. I thought I could save this. I honestly, I should have just respawned. I could have respawned by now and been on my way. Because with the big of a gap as it's there, and the fact that Hobo's caught up to me and how it's passing me, yeah. I think I rolled there, by the way, in that exact same spot when we tested this SUV. Yeah, and once again, just having issues. Finally decided to cut my losses. However, that does now put me all the way in last. So yeah, earlier when I said when I was in first, don't get used to it. Yeah, I'm gonna stay back here now for quite a bit of time. This just wasn't my race. It made me sad because I really do like the Baller. It's a lot of fun to drive, and it's a lot of fun to take off-roading, but it wasn't gelling with me on the day that we recorded the races. So Raven, however, well, no, he just gave up second to Hobo, though. Hobo's having his own issues. Raven just respawned. Hobo's still trying to straighten it out, but I am now right there behind Raven, but I went off the same spot he did. And once you're down here, you may as well respawn, because the checkpoint's now so far away and back up a big hill, it's difficult to climb, that it's just easier to respawn. And then same thing, rolled it again and right back off. But yeah, I thought I was gonna be able to save it. Nope, gotta respawn again. Still somehow in fourth, but if you look, Sven is coming back up. There we go, managed to land it without. Oh no, that's J-Bo's. He missed the checkpoint. I thought that was Sven coming back up. J-Bo's missed the checkpoint, had to come back to it. That's who was coming back up. But you can see that first, second, and third are just up ahead there. I'm going to cut a little bit of a shortcut there. I tend to forget the shortcuts, and everybody else tends to remember them because they take them when we're testing full wheel and off-road. Whereas I have to stick to the trail so that we're consistent on the path that I take, so that testing is fair across all the cars. Also, love the wee-woos on the... oh, hi, Obo. Love the wee-woos on the cop car. Nice. It's a nice touch. I like that you can place those and they sit there with their lights on. It's pretty cool. I wish the ambulance and the fire truck that are over there to the left did the same thing. So bonk into the pole, and yep, that's the one where I missed the checkpoint. And I did not even, it didn't dawn on me until it finally pops up here in a minute and says wrong way. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, when did I miss a checkpoint? And I'm still like, where was it? Where did I miss the checkpoint? And it's, for some reason, I decided this is the way to go get it. So I finally just respawned, and for whatever reason, it put me facing the wrong way. So I started going in the wrong direction. Yeah, and that's it. My race is over. I'm not catching up. I mean, look how far up the mountain second and third are, and of course third will kick off that DNF timer. So there's, you know, unless they were to have both major calamities, I'm done. There's no way. And then after getting shortcuts now, you know, I was just getting frustrated and a little flustered by missing that checkpoint, that I just went into follow the path mode, and I just missed like 15 seconds worth of shortcuts easily. However, Hobo and Raven have a very good race going right there. I mean, they are right there with each other, and that's pretty impressive. I don't remember who winds up taking second on this one. When we raced it, it was 2 weeks ago, and then when I edited it, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just queued up and synced up the first part of the race, and then went to the end of the race for my cut points. So it looks like Hobo is gaining a little bit of a lead, but with the way this thing can react to bumps and bushes, it could still be anyone's race. Just one little mistake from Hobo, and he can hand that second place back off. Yeah, right there, and they're right, once again, right on top of one another, which is impressive. I am miles behind even fourth place. You can see J-Bo's is already up on a whole different segment of the mountain than I am. So Raven and Hobo coming up to the jump, still just boom, boom. So yeah, Hobo just went full wide. That was great watching that from Raven's perspective, just to see Hobo go flying. Hobo got a much better launch. If you can land on those flatter bits, it's a good thing, because you can keep going faster for longer. And that is helping Hobo open up a big lead over Raven at the moment. Yeah, that's a pretty significant lead right there. Hobo's into smooth sailing, whereas Raven still has a little bit of rough stuff to go. Hobo's just got to navigate some pretty easy areas now. I mean, he's about to go onto the railroad tracks that are currently on fire. So, yeah, looks like Sven's taking first place. So, good job, Sven. 2 races in a row, though they weren't in the row on the day we did them. I don't think. We may have done the Aleutian and the Baller back-to-back. I don't remember. I do know that next week it's the first and the final vehicle. So, yeah, I thought you can go off to the right here, but I went too far to the right. I wanted to be a little bit more to the left of this ridge because then you can just drive the ridge. So this is going to put me even farther behind. And second place just finished. We can see third place is now coming up to the finish. So I'm going to get hit. Oh my gosh, that is one heck of a launch Raven just had. Holy. But yeah, I'm still way too far up the mountain. DNF timer of 30 seconds. There's no way I'm getting down there in 30 seconds. It's just not going to happen. Which is unfortunate, but hey, you know, what are you going to do? You win some, you lose some, or you come in second or third in some and DNF in some. But next week, there is a very good result, a very good showing from me. So make sure you tune in for the finale of the Chop Shop season next week, where we'll have, I'll be in the Drift Tampa, but there'll be a lot of drift cars. That'll be for the first race, and then the Canis Terminus will be the second race. So, wow, DNF, that hurts, my own race. But good job, Sven. Here comes the times, and I want to thank you very much for watching. There's 1,000 things you can watch on YouTube any given moment, and you chose this, and I appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.